y'all, my name is Tran. I am the content creator behind this channel. In today's episode, I will walk you through the process of how I turn these Facebook desks into a pair of Farmhouse side tables. So if y'all are interested in learning a step-by-step tutorial, then please keep watching. Without further ado, let's get right into it. So this is my husband helping me take off any trim that is in our way. The first step we did was to measure the width of the drawers, which become our side tables. We left maybe 1/4 of an inch so we can sand it down if need be. The next step is to measure the distance of the blade to the frame of the saw. Many are about 1.5 inches and ours did measure 1.5 inches. Third step is to add the 1.5 inches to your initial drawer measurement and mark it. The fourth step is to do the same on the back side of the tables just so that you're able to have a straight edge for cutting. Fifth step is to find a straight edge. Here we're using a piece of trim that we took off the piece, then we clamp them down. And finally we are ready to use a circular saw to make the cut. I let Hubs make the first initial cut. I was kind of intimidated, to be honest. Now it is my turn to try the process from the beginning. I'm measuring the width, adding 1.5 inches, using a clamp to define my straight edge. Now you see the look of defeat on my face. Here's Hubs explaining to me what I did wrong.
So, perfect. That is exactly right. This is inch and a half. So 14 and 7/8, pretty close. I ain't gotta be exact. I mean, I got 1/4 inch gap, so you can be short there. So. Yeah, you're good. You have it measured on that side too?
No.
Yeah, measured on both sides. That's what you're doing.
We fix my mistake and then proceed with the remaining steps. Remember to measure twice and cut once.
You know what? Then you drop your right hand. Okay. That's the hold like this. Okay, so just put the tip on. Let it up to where you want it. Flatten it out.
Oh gosh.
You're good. Hold right here. You got it. Okay. Pull it back because you don't want to start it right on the thumb. So when you come in, make sure you stay straight on the top.
Oh gosh.
This guy will come up, okay?
Do what?
This guy will come up. Okay, you got it flat? Okay. So now, keep it flat. Don't let this move. There, I got it. Alright, now, keep it flat all the way. Alright. Yeah, hit your thing. Just your trigger. Just don't worry about this. I got this.
What's this? But I have to.
This is holding this guy up. Now, the guys can go down anyways when you start going. You ain't gotta worry about it. Just that's if you're trying to. You don't need to though. Just let it go. It'll be fine. Alright, you hold there. Keep it straight. Flat, straight. It's trigger.
Or don't do it! Don't do it!
It's fine. It's like butter. Just hold it straight.
Stop.
Get it back. You don't want to hit it. There you go. So make sure as you use forward, you stay straight. You're good. It's finished. It's fine. That's why I left a little bit of stuff to set up.
Are you okay?
You did great.
I'm sure.
Yeah, nice and straight.
First hair tool.
No, drills and power tools. You first saw it. So other things you can do with this, which this will be later. This is more of a skill tool.
So after cutting the desk in half, we use a multi-tool to take these blocks off. The smoke that you see is the friction it creates between the blade and the wood, but also there was a nail there that we didn't know about. work is out of the way, it was my turn to transform these babies. I used a heavy-duty Bondo to fill the gaps left behind by the deconstruction. It's very important to wear a respirator and work in a well-ventilated area when using Bondo. The smell is super strong, but it's one of the best solid wood fillers I have ever used. So I let the Bondo dry overnight. The next morning, I have my respirator on and we are outside of the garage. We are using my orbital sander with a 120 grit sandpaper to sand the Bondo smooth to the surface of the desk. Now it's time to remove the hardware. So now I'm giving the rest of the piece a quick scuff sand with 120 grit. A scuff sand is creating a surface with texture so the paints will have something to adhere to. But then I realized I wanted the legs to be as bare wood as it possibly could, so this starts the long, tedious process of hand sanding. After sanding, I took my air compressor and blew off all the dust from sanding. Isn't it just so satisfying? The next step I did was to strip the parts and where I wanted bare wood to be on the piece. I like using Citristrip because it's not as odorous as other chemical stripper brands out there. But the trick with the Citristrip is that I have learned through YouTube is that after applying the stripper to the wood using a disposable brush is to lay a piece of saran wrap on top. And this is why we put saran wrap after the Citristrip. You can actually see it's work its magic and it's going to be easier to strip off. So here are the tools you'll need to take off the stripper. I have a metal scraper, a small wire brush, some steel wool, mineral spirits, and some gloves. I will link everything in the description box below. So here I am scraping off the stripper over the trash can and using steel wool soaked in the mineral spirits to take off the leftovers. Wipe it clean and repeat. Since the stripper worked really well on the other surfaces, I tried on the legs. But no matter what process I did, I'd still have to put in a lot of elbow grease with these legs. I believe the legs took me a few hours for each leg to get them where I wanted them to be. There were 8 legs, so definitely getting some tendonitis afterwards. After stripping, I went in with my orbital sander with 120 grit to take off any remaining residue, used crud cutter to take off more residue and to clean it. Lastly, I used shellac where I was going to paint to prevent any bleed through with the white paint that we are about to apply. Here I am mixing up Miss Mustard Seed Farmhouse White. It's a powdered form. Mix it with warm water, then adding some extra bond to create more of an adhesion to my surface. here's the final product. I am so pleased with how these turned out. Took a lot of work, but it's something I'm very proud of. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please give it a thumbs up, and if you love it, subscribe. Thank you for learning with me, and I hope to see y'all soon. Bye.